What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Uh, Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on. I think there's going to be a bidding war for Caitlin Clark, and I say that because this new European Pro Am League or whatever it's called, they are going to offer Caitlin Clark and some other WNBA players crazy amounts of money for them to go over there and play in that league, right? And it's going to be a bidding war. Now, the WNBA, in my opinion, they can't afford to let Caitlin Clark go over there and play in that league. Not in that, in that Pro Am league, because what it will do with the WNBA only having 13 teams, what it will do is it'll really hurt. I'm not sure if it'll shut the WNBA down, but it'll really hurt the WNBA, right? And I say that because back in the day, the NFL had to compete against a league called the USFL League, right? And the USFL League came and they was like, we're going to get some college players and we're going to offer them a ton of money to come over to the USFL. I remember they had Herschel Walker. They got Herschel Walker. They got Steve Young. They got a lot of players, right? They offered them a lot of money in the USFL. They're not playing the NFL. Herschel Walker came from Georgia. Steve Young came from Brigham Young. And so what happened was, like I said, they offered them like $100 million contracts. That kind of money was unheard of. Now, these teams over in Europe, they have the kind of money. They already talking about offering Caitlin Clark $100 million, which is crazy. So if she go from 70,000 to 100 million, that's she going to think about that. Caitlin Clark is going to think about that. You got the WNBA paying her $78,000, and this European league going to put $100 million on the table. She definitely going to think about that. The WNBA cannot afford to let Caitlin Clark or any star players, franchise players, they can't afford to let them go like that, because that's going to cripple the WNBA. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a bidding war. Now the WNBA is not going to pay Caitlin Clark $100 million. But what they are going to do, they'll probably let this European league be up and running for a few years and see how they make out and how much attention they drawing and the money that they're making, right? They're going to allow them to do that, just like the NBA let the ABA do that. And the big star in the ABA was Dr. J, Julius Erving. He was a major attraction for that league. And who's the other guy? Iceman, George Gervin, played with the Spurs. So you had the Spurs, and who else was a part? Well, Dr. J played on that team. I don't know, whatever team Dr. J played on, they were big in the ABA. And so what the NBA did was they merged with the ABA. I think they bought in the Spurs, the Nuggets. I'm trying to think. I think they bought in like about 4 or even 6 teams. And Dr. J and George Gervin, then they came over. But remember, Dr. J and George Gervin was already stars in the ABA. The WNBA and the NBA do not want to repeat that with Caitlin Clark, because they will be losing out on so much money. If Caitlin Clark take an offer from this European team and she go over there for $100 million, ain't nothing they can do. If she do that, then they definitely going to have to merge with them in order to bring Caitlin Clark back to the league, like they bought with George Gervin and Dr. J. And also the same thing, like I said, in professional football, it was the same thing with Steve Young. Now, the reason why the NFL didn't merge with the USFL is because the NFL already had enough teams, right? They didn't want to saturate their market. So they may have taken some other steps to make sure that that USFL league, didn't I don't know, well, fortunately for them, the USFL did not grow and succeed. I think they kind of spent too much money, got in over their head, and they had to flounder, right? But I think the European League is in a great position to be able to merge with the WNBA. And Caitlin Clark she is like the whole linchpin she's like the linchpin that's going to probably connect both of these leagues. Like if she goes to that league over there in Europe and play for $100 million, which I would, if I'm advising her, I would probably tell her to go play for them. Number one, for the money, and number two, it'll grow the game. It's going to make the WNBA international. So not only is Caitlin Clark going to make a boatload of money, but then this collective bargaining agreement that these young ladies are getting ready to sign, they're gonna get a raise on top of that. So when they say that like high tides make all ships rise, that's definitely the truth. I know some players did not, some players didn't want to accept that Caitlin Clark is the reason for the league growing. But I think the best thing for Caitlin Clark is that she is making the league grow. If she goes over there and plays in Europe, the WNBA gonna fight back. They're gonna have to compete. They're gonna have to raise the bar even more, and then they're going to bring Caitlin Clark back if she go over there and play. So she'll be able to come back in a few years. After she done made her $100 million, and that's just on the court. That's just like her money on the court. That don't count endorsements. That don't count merchandising and stuff like that. So you talking about a WNBA player that's like she can probably be a billionaire, probably like within 5 to 10 years. Caitlin Clark, like if all money on the court and endorsements, she probably can be a billionaire. She probably can be the first female basketball player to be a billionaire, and that's and within 5 to 10 years, like provided she can stay healthy, she probably can make that kind of money because I think those European league is going to spend. You talking about people that's oil. You know what I mean? You talking about people with deep pockets, and so like the money has always been there too. That's another thing that this exposes the WNBA. Now, not the kind of money that Caitlin Clark is going to make, but the money for them to pay these young ladies has always been there. Like they could have been paying them more than 9% the whole time. That's why when you look at those T-shirts that they wore during the All-Star game, it said, "Pay us what you owe us," because although the books are not open, the WNBA could have been expanded. There was room for expansion. And the reason I know that there was always room for expansion is they know that there has always been a market for USA basketball outside of this country. Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Brittany Griner, like a ton of women, Cynthia Cooper, have been going and playing in Europe. They've been playing in Asia. They've been playing in Italy for years, making more money over there than they made in the WNBA. So the money was there. The interest from the fans was there. It's just that the WNBA never wanted to capitalize on that market. But now when you have somebody as popular as Caitlin Clark and somebody want to steal Caitlin Clark, now the WNBA don't have any choice but to, they got to pay her. They're going to have to pay her. And so, and the way Caitlin Clark is playing this is smart. She's not she's not saying she committed to this side or that side. She's keeping quiet. And, I know she's privately taking meetings, having her agent talk to people. She's probably getting phone calls. This thing right here, man, these young ladies is about to get paid. They're about to get paid. And I think I'm gonna do another video because the WNBA really dropped the ball on this. They would not be in this position had they not been so sexist and discriminating against women. And that's what it is. I think the WNBA dropped the ball on this. These women, they could have been making money and would have had more loyalty from these from the WNBA players than what they had, man. So, but that's my take on it. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.